Hecarim all the time. And look, this guy has been first picking Hecarim as recently as the Challenger Playoff Finals, so he shows a lot of priority for the champion, but worked in Game 2 with a massive snowball lead that was honestly granted on a silver platter by Longzhou IM, but been found out, and the Gnar, I think, should signal the end of the Hecarim first pick, but I've been proved wrong before.
Yes, and you know what I think? I think Cube is unafraid. I think he's going to take the Hecarim again.
Maybe Rumble won't. No, too late.
He spoke too soon.
Rumble Hecarim only. That sounds like the meta of Trace or someone a couple of months ago, but there's all these fun champions and soon to be the Juggernauts to really mix up and get in there. Well, I want to see Garen played unironically. I don't count Amazing J on Energy Pacemaker.
That was terrible, Papa.
It was terrible. I smiled, though.
Did you?
Well, like now every time they get into Champ Select, he just hovers Garen and starts to swirl around in the booth, and that's fun.
He spins to win on his chair.
He does.
Gotta make sure that you don't get tangled up in your headset cord when you do that.
Real, serious pro player problems.
That's why he has to go with the USB, the wireless headset.
That's risky. What happens if he can't communicate when the battery runs out?
It's all about the style points, Papa Smithy.
He says, talking about the rotations to death last game. You don't like style points. You don't like flashy players. Or at least you're not a big champion.
I like flashy ceremonies and trash talk.
That's
what
true.
I like.
It's true. You are a purveyor of the top quality trash talk, which you can only find in Korea. And the TSM videos were alright too.
They're alright. So the Hecarim will finally be banned in this series. They finally did it. They got it banned. But this means that we are going to have an Azir available. IM did ban Rumble Lulu Azir their last game on the red side. And the Elise first picked this time by the Dark Wolves. So
and Kavadi showed what he could do on Lee Sin in Game 2, so maybe he's going to get in and get aggressive. But this has opened up Azir for the first time. In fact, brace yourselves, I'm sure everyone's excited, but I think it's Azir versus Victor time in the middle.
Yeah, I know. Everybody's going to just be jumping up out of their chairs to see that matchup, and we could see Braum for the first time taken by Incredible Miracle, so denying Jelly that particular selection, which he's had 3 games so far in this series.
And a lot of consistency in picks. Hecarim for Cube, Jelly picking up the Braum. Now both of them not going to be happening, so let's find out. Dark Horse, this might be the last game we see from this team in this particular promotion match. What else you got?
I've got to show something. Again, Cube did play Sunfire Cape Rengar and Maokai in the finals when he wasn't on Hecarim. So the Ashe pick locked in already for Chelly, and there we see the Azir.
Yep. It's going to be Nashor's Tooth Azir, which I think is a different data point. That's an insta-lock Vayne. Okay, that's fun. At least we're seeing the Vayne versus Ashe matchup where Ashe very much wanting to play for picks and team fights, and Vayne just wanting to find her in an empty lane and take her out.
Well, interestingly, I am going for the composition that I thought Dark Wolves would draft in Game 2. When we saw the Victor Gragas come out, I thought they would take the Braum Vayne. Instead, they went for the Ashe. So it's a good composition for sure. A lot of peel, a lot of isolation for the Vayne. And they have the freedom to counterpick in that top side yet again.
Praying to the gods that we see the Bard. We're probably not going to see the Bard. Now let's change to Vel'Koz, sadly. Ashe definitely doesn't synergize particularly well with Annie, but Dark Wolves need to get onto this Vayne because, as you mentioned, Gragas for peel, Gragas for peel, Braum for peel. Already committed to a mid laner, so you can't go for maybe the Varus that really is opened up by a kite back comp like the one that IM has put together. And Ashe Alistar doesn't exactly scream synergy either, but Direwolves, with the need to get into the back line, they're going to need to be on point with the teleport flanks, and that's just not the Dark Wolves we've seen.
Well, they do have a lot of chain CC here, but they're very reliant on Kyle to take advantage of stun into stun into stun to get a lot of Azir auto attacks off. It could work. They have a lot of pick potential between Elise, Maokai, and the Ashe Arrow, but late game could be a little bit tough with all the disengage to lock down Sonstar. And what is the top lane pick going to be? Could just go right back into the Gnar, get yourself a favorable matchup.
Does Gnar really work with this comp, though? Gnar's about going in, and basically everything around IM can be going that way. But speaking of going in, you could go straight in as the Malphite as your monitor falls over in ceremony. at this Malphite and the ground pounding that he might do this particular game. It's, man, Maokai versus Malphite. You don't really... You never saw this meta coming, but it's Tank Wars in the top.
Yeah, the resident sleeper top lane meta. Well, the Maokai, if we do get those standard lanes once again, that should be not very exciting. I'm waiting for Cube to switch away from Ignite right now. I'm really hoping he doesn't play Ignite Maokai.
I really do hope he plays Teleport Ignite Maokai. If you ever go on the backline, the damage.
Okay, we'll see if he switches it. He hasn't yet. He may make a mistake and not actually switch up his summoners here in the final potential game of this series.
This is the top Teleport Ignite Rengar player. Maybe
yeah,
it's
5 seconds. I'm waiting for this Ignite to change.
3, 2, 1. He's doing it.
He's doing it. It's going to be Ignite Maokai. Okay, guys.
No, he changed it.
Oh, he changed it.
Dark Wolves fighting.
Dark Wolves fighting.
Someone had to do it, Monte Cristo.
I like the Dark Wolves. They're here. They took a game. They've made it competitive.
But are you still willing to dub this particular game Resident Sleeper? Because it is Maokai versus Malphite and Azir versus Victor. No interest in the solo lanes whatsoever.
And the Vayne and Ashe, not exactly the flashiest in the early game either. We'll see how the lanes shake out this time around.
It's worth noting that since the last time we saw only Azir versus Victor, there is kind of a new variable in the Nationals Tooth Rush. It feels like the extra attack speed really helps Azir in this matchup. Previously, what would happen, to give maybe some of our newer fans or people that skipped a good 2 months there of only this mid lane matchup, was that if Victor ever got ahead, the fact that he had the instant wave clear with one item, 1,000 gold upgrade on the Hex score, meant that if he ever got ahead, or specifically if he took the outer turret, he'd just instant wave clear. We saw Faker do this so often, and go and respond to other lanes. And Azir, a much more defensive-minded champion, will just be rooted under turrets, slowly wave clearing. And still has good wave clear without that item, but with the Nationals Tooth especially, so much early wave clear is that the wave clear is actually pretty even. So excitingly, it means the laning phase is even longer.
Also, you do have some good poke there, too. You get a couple more auto attacks in with the Nashor's Tooth and the extra attack speed. So it's a bit different, but, you know, I think it's actually an interesting lane matchup, personally, just because it is so skill-based in how it actually turns out. And I like watching both those champions in the late game. We do have an invade here. There is a ward for Chelly and Jelly.
It's going to be exciting.
This is definitely a bit crazy. And here we go. There you go. Concussive blow is going to land. Jelly going to get stunned immediately, so the damage coming down. They've already taken some damage from the Krugs. And some crazy play here from LZIM, denying the Krugs early and chunking them out.
It's good to see the aggressive play we didn't expect with the lane matchups, but it's nice to see the contest come out. Too many people get away with the extra camp start. Punished well by IM.
Yeah, you just have to be very sure that they're starting their jungle on the opposite side of the map when you try shenanigans like that, but it can be effective. And there we go. So Sonstar and Ignar getting into lane without too much trouble, and that'll give Vayne a little bit of a window here to farm up unharassed. And Kervavi, I was going to check, he didn't know where they started. I think he assumed they started at his red, actually. That would be the natural assumption in that particular situation, that they might have had backup. So instead, that's not going to be the case. However, Tucson will be seen by the hawk shot, but Kervavi actually mind-gamed a bit right there, and he's going to waste some time.
And given that he's an early presence jungler in Elise, who Elise accepted, you see a nice little elephant on the screen. Elise accepted is a really strong early duelist. The damage can be off the chain if you chain all your abilities in. The fact that he's delayed could be significant. It means he won't be there for the counter gank or the aggressive gank. His timing set back by what, 20, 25 seconds? That's quite significant in the early game.
Yeah, and had there been a different laner than Vayne that could have kept that pressure onto the tier 1, it could have signaled an invade onto the red buff too, depending. So not going to happen with a Vayne Braum lane this game, but Certainly something that could result from an AD carry with higher early wave clear. And so just going to safely take that red buff, though, but the first shot coming through for Tucson has that Ranger as Trailblazer, and he's going to have an early game advantage. Subtle, but still there.
Speaking of subtleties, this is actually one for the real armchair fan, is the fact that, you know, we've had multiple games with double teleports, with IM consistently having the win condition of setting up a split push with no viable answer to it, the likes of the Diana in games 1 and 3, for example. And that actually exists in this game, but it's from a different spot. It's the Vayne against Ashe. Ashe, very team fight mindset, wants to initiate 5v5 engages, never wants to find herself in an empty lane against Vayne as Tucson's coming.
Tucson is coming. There's the flash body slam, and they're going to nail this kill in the end. Flashing forward, and there's the kill coming through the Ignite. Shelly now stapled to the wall with the Condemn, and right there, that is the price of checking that red buff, because there was no possible reaction coming in from Curvavy.
Still pretty poor. I don't think both members had to die. Specifically, Ashe dies with her flash up. Could have got out there and been more defensive. Tried to fight next to Jelly, who was always going to pay the price. And this just accelerates what I was alluding to before. Vayne's split push doesn't need the teleport, but there's no way to answer it from Ashe. So unless Maokai gets a couple of items, gets that unkillable Maokai phase, feels like Sunstar actually will be the one to have the split pushing duties rested on his shoulders.
Yeah, and a good start for Incredible Miracle that gave up that first blood on ganks in the last couple of games. So, you know, for the first time in the last 3 games, we are seeing an early advantage for LZIM. They haven't had to be in a position where they took some bad fights and gave up an early gold lead. And the question is this time, can they control the dragon better than they have in most of the games in this series?
I mean, Vayne has solo kill potential onto the Ashe. The answer should be yes. It obviously is very difficult for her and the Braum lane, as you mentioned, to control the wave against an Ashe who has AoE pushing options. So for now, Chelly unanswered as Braum goes for a walk, as supports are want to do.
And making sure to get some vision down. Ignar all by his lonesome, but he's got some good information, and wow, just a huge number of wards. 3 fresh ones placed down, and they're going to know exactly what is going on in that enemy jungle.
And if you're Braum, you know that the first ward will be swept. That's the reality, is that jungles will always save their smite for the Raptor. That'll get you the Raptor vision, but that's why you want all 3 wards down, because you guarantee 2 camps of vision in almost all situations.
Yeah, it's quite valuable. Well, Maokai going for a Ruby Crystal first in this particular matchup. So probably just going for a Cowl against the Maokai. Not going to be too surprising, but could delay his ability to actually match the wave pressure of the Maokai with that Sunfire cape. I suppose he could go Bummy Cinder too, we'll see.
In the previous meta that Malphite was in vogue, it was actually seen as a pseudo counterpick to Vladimir top. A Haunting Guy, Sorcerer's Shoe was the big pick up there. It's not going to come out this game, but man can dream.
I always preferred the Olaf counterpick to the Vladimir. That is the dirtiest one, by the way.
It's really funny. You max the axe, and then if you hit one, good luck with the pull helping you out, and Flash Ghost, you're still dead.
Yeah, there's really no way. If you guys haven't played this in solo queue, the next time somebody tries to play top lane Vladimir, play Olaf. And all you have to do...
One axe.
One axe. And even if they pull, you just run around the edge of the pool and then hit them with an axe right as he comes back up. It's basically GG.
Because they're slowed in the animation of the pull, and that just gives you some time to pick up the axe and hit the next one.
Yeah, it's really dumb. Highly recommended.
The hard counter picks that Riot's all about.
So, do see Ignar and Tucson stacking up here, maybe trying to bait out a gank, but we do see the MIA pings. They know exactly where Elise is heading back up towards those Raptors, so they really want this. They are going to... Ooh, that's not the best hawk shot. They see Ignar, but nothing else.
Hawkshot is now global, so it goes very far. Actually, it's giving vision of...
They don't know Tucson's coming in, and here we go. Nice ultimate, but Jelly gets a 3-man pull. And are they actually going to get the stun down here? Don't need it. Sunstar picks it up with the True Silver Bolts.
And the fact that Chelly had held onto the flash isn't even important, although actually has to use it now as the turret die is going to come in. And hard to kite out of Vayne.
Well, those early wards doing a lot of work. And goodbye, Ashe. Another 2 kills for Sunstar. Man, that one trip through the jungle got Incredible Miracle so much information to be able to make that play.
I think the more significant factor is that the Dark Horse had so little information that they went on this solo invade for contesting a red that wasn't even there. And it's crazy that something like that, a 25-second to 30-second delay in your jungle pathing, has basically won Sonstar bottom lane. And we already mentioned the fact that he's going to always be in a position to outmaneuver Ashe in any sort of 1v1 split pushes, so Ashe's going to have to hide for farm. Play the Ruin Kings, what, 500, 600 gold away from completion. Dragon secured, and it's tough to say, but game mostly in the bag for IM.
Yeah, 3 kills early on this Vayne have been absolutely huge. And like you mentioned, you know, those little jungling errors can really stack up. We just saw the Elise kind of at the end of her rope, hadn't gone back to shop yet, had run out of potions. Pathing wasn't great, and that resulted in a pretty big advantage.
Just notice something that I can feed to you, Monte Cristo. The secondary max is W for the Malphite, so isn't going to be looking for any more points in the queue for potentially a little bit more. I think it's 50 damage per level burst or stealing movement speed, but the W, which of course, one thing we haven't mentioned with Malphite is the W, instead of just giving situational bonus armor, now gives percentage bonus armor. It's a bit like an armor death cap, 30% bonus armor at highest level. Not going to be taking any damage from Ashe.
Yeah, it's really interesting. We were discussing that ability at the beginning of the broadcast, or before the broadcast, rather. It's one of the more recent changes to Malphite, and will be coming into play, but you know, not going to have any armor for a while, so the efficacy of that mostly in the splash damage for the wave clear.
I really do like the way that Riot changed that ability, because it still does the same things, right? It still gives more armor and AoE splash, but the AoE splash, sometimes you wouldn't even put any levels in Malphite's W because it really punished you when it came to last hitting under turret or pushing a wave. So now, permanent armor increase, you know, up to 30%, which is of course always great for a Malphite, and a situational ability to push rather than situational armor and a permanent ability to push. It's the same ability, but tweaked in a way that just makes Malphite's kit and design and laning phase that much smoother.
Yeah, although with the Sunfire, you're still not getting the most control over the minion wave, which is really his core item, right? So
but that's player-driven rather than necessarily champion-driven. So
yeah,
it's a nice little tweak that doesn't actually change the identity of Malphite.
All right, well, IM now back into the bottom side jungle. They have so much power here. They've gotten that CS lead, huge kill advantage onto Sonstar, and this is their playground now.
To the extent that Ignar's thinking about a flank around the inner turret.
Oh, man. I mean, they should know where everybody is right now. Tucid and Ignar trying to set this one up. It would be ambitious, but here comes the TP from Malphite. Do you like Malphite ultimate dives?
Oh, I do.
Well, they're going to try and counter TP this. There's no dragon to be taken, so this is not going to be very successful for Incredible Miracle. As we do see Kervavi just kind of sneaking in. Expression, why are you even there? He's going to try and get arrowed, I guess, and there's the ultimate. They want to disengage this. Expression has to flash out. Kyle coming through right now. Ignar getting wrapped up. Here comes the victory. He's pushed in. The help of that Azir ultimate. Now they're going to twist and advance him, but Chelly on the backside. Holy crap, that Vayne does a lot of damage.
Yeah, the Malphite helping as well. For some reason, Ashe was in front of all her tanks, I guess, behind when it comes to the retreat, but effectively in front, so dies for the sins of basically the jungler and the pathing problems that caused earlier, because the snowball continues. Canceled the back as well, and Frozen was caught out, had to flash over the Emperor's Divide, but a sloppy team fight still extends the lead for Longzhu IM.
I don't even know why Malphite was trying to go that way through the enemy jungle. The TP coming in, and of course Kyle having that faster collapse on the Azir. And try and push into the mid lane right now. They'll get a little bit of work done.
This Chelly Ashe is unfortunately looking very reminiscent of Arrow's Ashe that we remember getting exploded by Faker a million times. He's got double Doran's Avarice Blade and a pickaxe. Every time I see Avarice Blade and a pickaxe in the same inventory as an Ashe, and it's not 8 minutes into the game or 5 minutes, I worry for the Ashe.
Yeah, you should. Sonstar coming in again. There's the flash. Winter's Bite.
Ashe.
Goodbye, Chelly. Rip in pepperonis.
All the pepperonis.
It's not even worth gold anymore. Stop it.
I think Arrow said the same thing.
So another kill for Sonstar. They find the flank, make the aggressive play with the summoners, and are able to convert yet again. And Sonstar is still sitting on about 2,500 gold right now, so he is going to have a nice shopping spree.
Going to be Play the Ruin King, Berserk Greaves, and starting up that Static Shiv or Phantom Dancer for compounding the misery of Chelly.
The misery of Chelly. I think that was an opera written by Verity.
Oh. Was that the one that ended with everyone dying?
They all end that way, Bob.
Ah, right.
They all end that way.
It's been a bit of a slow death for the Dark Wolves. Granted, a reprieve in Game 2, but some kind of phases of this series accepted. In less dominant fashion than we expected, but still, Longzhou IM had mostly the control going most of the way through.
Well, and there's a big difference, too. When IM was actually able to control the early game, the snowballing has been very smooth from them. And they even fought back out of a deficit in the last one and turned it around with that split pushing, but now able just to play around the power of this Vayne. There's an immense amount of dive pressure between the Malphite and the Vayne together. Now they're starting to move into the top side. No dragon for another 30 seconds. This is their chance. Curvavy just going to get isolated. Hi, Frozen says, and goodbye to the Elise. Meanwhile, Sonstorm managing to find Jelly. Your ultimate has no power here with true damage. And Jelly going to fall once again.
Shelly and Jelly. We're not going to see them in Champions. I know Doe was sad about that. That sounds like a recipe for some excellent references, but unless they find their way onto a Champions team, looking unlikely. 8-0, perfect game territory, Monte Cristo, 15 minutes in.
Yeah, it would be sad if it ended with a perfect game, I think, for Dark Wolves after their long season to get here for this opportunity. And the fact that they have been able to make things competitive in the last couple of games, but this game has been all incredible miracle. And with a Vayne that already has 6 kills in 15 minutes, the light at the end of the tunnel is dwindling.
I'm waiting for the chat message to pop up saying mid-open. I think it's time.
Oh boy. Well, here we go. Tucson onto another dragon. Much better dragon control in the early game from IM. Here in our 4th match of the night. See if Curvavy can actually take this one away. Pulled out of the pit right now for safe. Oh. It's a stare down.
It wasn't even dance. It was a stare. That was much more serious than I paid it credit to.
That's how you do it in the Old West, you know. There's no dancing. You just sit there with your hand hovered over the pistol on your hip, waiting for the other man to make a move, Bob Smithy.
You can keep playing the game of where is Malphite's head. It's a little bit clearer on the skin. Man, on that regular skin, it is very hard to tell where his head is.
I prefer to think the head is like 50% of his body.
Ah, that's quite scary. And it is scary when you see Malphite. You shouldn't be laughing at his small head.
That's why you could theoretically make a Tiki Malphite skin where he's just like a giant Tiki head.
It'd be Totemic Malphite to go along with Totemic Maokai.
See? Nailed it.
Skin ideas with Papa Smithy and Monte Cristo. I'm sure someone would buy that. To be fair, I think Scarred Maokai is actually the Tiki one you're thinking of. Totemic was the other release.
I don't know. Whatever. Easter Island Malphite needs to be like a thing.
Sunstar's just chilling with a ward?
Yep. He's being sneaky.
No, Sneaky's the one that's dealing with the mid-open and Disco Nunu's Monte Cristo.
Oh, well, you know what? The sad thing is Korean solo queue probably is still less trolly than an A solo queue.
In a different way, right? I was watching highlight clips as Sunstar watched the highlight of an Ash arrow go straight past him. I was watching highlight clips of... Did you see the solo queue game with, what was it? Deft, BDD, Apto.
Uh-oh. Well, that's everything missing right there. Jelly's still going to take a huge amount of damage. Tucson there just to zone out. LZIM getting a little bit overly excited. They still have this perfect game potentially going through, though.
They shouldn't take that lightly. You don't see many perfect games in the competitive scene. Usually something is snuck, as everyone can jump over a wall, so it's K.
Yeah, this game has been significantly better, and I mean, Jelly he hasn't even gotten a BF sword yet. His item's still identical to when we checked in on him a couple minutes back.
Just happy there's no Diana on the enemy team. Arrow felt the pain of that. There's no real clear person to kill him apart from Vayne, and if he hits the Ash arrow, might get away. It's sad times. He got the BF sword, Monty.
He's arrived.
The 25-minute game's not going so well. Infinity Edge. But Ash is coming.
I'm just waiting for Malphite to get enough armor to go down there and slam her.
Go down there and slam her. We've made some questionable references today about Diana, about Ash.
Okay, well, I mean, this Malphite just sort of chilling out in that top lane right now. Still not a lot of damage down or finishing power onto the turret.
Unclear if he's winning the stare downs as well. Need to watch the video for that one.
Well, we can't watch the replay to actually see the top lane Papa Smithy, so replays, those are things that don't exist.
Maybe LoL replay is running, who knows?
Okay, well, back to the never-ending laning. 20 minutes into this game.
But it's split pushing money, this is what you want.
I don't want Malphite split pushing.
You want Riven split push.
Yeah, that's what I
Me
want.
too.
GP, if you are cool with that.
Chelly's hoping the minions allow him to volley the minion wave. This is a bit depressing.
They are just blocking all of the damage out of Elise. Chelly desperately trying to farm on the bottom side.
This is the lane we want. No, we don't get any more.
Waiting my whole life for this moment, Papa Smithy.
I think Malphite's going to be a pick-up well. That's kind of fun, because Malphite's ult is cool.
It's great.
It's just such a fast-moving projectile speed that it's awesome. Alistair can do the same thing, but when Malphite does it, he pounds them.
Would have been better if he was an Easter Island statue, just saying. There's nothing like a giant head speeding at you.
If you don't let up on it, maybe Riot will relent. Recent evidence may show that.
Oh boy. Well, we're still back into the slow death of the Tier 2 turret in the bottom side while we wait for more objectives to spawn on the map. Tucson finally finding an opportunity to zone out Chelly and Jelly, and there's another turret snapped up by Sonstar. Frozen here. And here's the attempt on the kill. TP coming through. Frozen. Defensive gravity field, though, and they are just going to pop the Glacial Fissure and retreat. Nice flash, though, for the Pulverized. Frozen low, he is going to go down. The perfect game dream is dead.
Oh.
But so may be the Dark Wolves' hope. They committed so much to a 1-for-4 play, but at least they got a kill.
Yep, they're no longer a statistic in the Guinness Book of Records, the perfect game record. That's probably not in the Guinness Book of Records, but should be, damn it.
More League of Legends records, please. All right, so here we go. The Baron has been started. Should be a pretty easy grab here for Sonstar and Tucson, who are already pretty powered up. Need a little bit of help from Expression, the tankiness side of things.
Ash is considering leaving the game, so this one's not on his permanent record. End this custom game now, please.
And here we go. Baron at 21 minutes. LZIM with the snappy recall.
It's 3,400 gold between AD carries. Look, they got their objective. They killed someone.
I mean, Frozen played this really well. Obviously, he bought a lot of time to get his team back into that choke point. Flash pulled headbutt, not much you can do about that, but he already did the damage he needed to.
Malphite comes in super late, but man, when two squishes creep up, one of those squishes is Maokai, which is awkward, things go alright.
So the perfect game dream may be dead, but IM has probably had their win accelerated, actually, by that fight, considering they were immediately able to respond with the Baron kill, and now they don't have to worry about TP from the Maokai coming in. It's just split pushing freedom for Vayne.
Split pushing freedom, that's definitely IM's favorite type of freedom. Not into the other types of freedom, but every time they've had the opportunity to split push, they've kept it up. Perhaps too long in some of the games, but they're Dark Wolves. To say they're being dictated to is an understatement. There's literally nothing they can do, barring finding whatever farm is kind of pushed into them by IM.
Just 12K at 22 minutes, such an overwhelming advantage. This one looking a lot like game one in this series.
Let's go back to one of my favorite games, Monty. How many auto attacks from Ash will it take to kill the Malphite?
You love this game. Well, Infinity Edge is done, and there's, well, Sunfire and Frozen Heart. Ooh. I'd go with 30.
30 sounds quite likely as Expression's on top of the...
Goodbye, Azir. Nothing can save him. Nice poke over the wall from Frozen's death ray. Chelly gets found out by a nice cast from Tucson. Lands that ultimate, and there's another kill as Vayne just powering through the members of Dark Wolves. Another one for Victor, and now they're going to take the tier 2. They're going to take the inhibitor turret too. They've got the Baron buff, and the push already going. Cube, the last remaining member standing, and there are quite a few members of LCIM. Their sights set on this mid lane.
Sights set on retaining their champion spot. The Gatekeepers live up to their name. Game mightn't be over yet, but will be very shortly. This is definitely an overstay, but when you're this far ahead, 16,000 gold at 23 minutes, just bonkers lead in the 2015 metagame.
Yep. So another inhibitor crushed by IM, and we'll find a simple time to recall and then head for the actual final closure in this one. Might as well spend some of that money. Sonstar an astounding 9-0-4 at sub 25 minutes on Vayne. That's something you really just never want to see. That's one of the worst things to see in League of Legends. You look at the Vayne, you're like, oh, 9-0-4, that's pretty bad. Then you look at the time and it's 25 minutes, even worse.
Again, mid-open. Gragas has a Warmox for some reason. Goes really well with the Cinderhulk. Nice synergy there. Is Warmox? I think Warmox Heart's in the game, so he got sick regen when he's walking around. Yep, everyone's just a potential kill for Sonstar.
Party with Cube.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The answer was 7.
Oh, he auto-attacked a minion to mess you up right there.
Attack move fail.
Well, here we are, Curvavy, looking for something. Jelly is caught up, especially putting his spike fists on. Jelly gonna have to ult, but man, that damage from Victor is huge. And the very slow, methodical chase goes down. Sonstar just gonna flash for this one, over the wall, 1 crit, finish off Ashe, and Kyle now very sad. No more flash for Sonstar. He's gonna have to take the long way around, but he's still going to not get it. Nice kill to shut down Kyle. Ruin Sonstar's perfect game, but LCIM is going to take this opportunity to ruin the Dark Wolves' hope of making it into champions.
The barrier was really nice on form there. Cube's now just trying to pad some more stats. Surrender comes through.
Yeah, surrender comes through, so Dark Wolves put up a fight, but LCIM, the Gatekeepers, have taken their place once again. They shoo Dark Wolves out of Champion Spring next year, and we'll see these guys again.
Yeah, they continue their run since the second ever season of OGN Champions Winter 2012-2013. This team has been entrenched into Champions, never really delivering on their promising performance. Specifically last year in the promotion tournament, they actually looked very strong, but just couldn't make it into a successful run in Champions. Their goal is going to be above it. It's going to be trying to get into the mid-table, because IM just have never got it together in a